Hello, Kimra Hashiv, and you is Misha Joseph, and I'm Pashlich. Right, I have 100 questions here, all based around what I've learned in the last unit. And I think the easiest way to practice, especially speaking, is to try to go through the first 20 of these and build on what I know and see where the gaps are. Okay, so while I'm doing that, I'll explain some of them on the way. Jane Opera Hackett, what work is that you? So because I have a profession, I'm going to say she teacher hannum. It's a teacher that's inside me. That's how we talk about professions. Or I could say Hamia Koper Anan Skull. But it's asking what is the work, not where is the work. Okay. Kachabil and teacher Akober. Where does the teacher work? Ha and teacher Akober Anan Skull. Okay, that's a relatively easy one, I think. Right, the next one. Avil hu iolach an dunyas shin. Okay, so this is asking, do you know or are you acquainted with that man? Okay, so we came across this air the other day when we were going through these. So it literally means, um, do you have acquaintance on that man? Okay. And the answer is going to be Ha. Hami Iolach Er. Yeah, I do know him. Okay, so we retain the air in the answer. Jin Nashin Tach a hackett. Remember when it ends in CHD, there's a G sound. Achke. Jin Nashin Tach a hackett. Hami as Alaba. I'm from Scotland, or Ha Albanach me. I think I can just say Albanach me without the ha even. But I'm going to say Hami as Alaba just to make it easier. Right. Ekoas her let and daughter no and teacher. Okay, so we didn't cover this already, but it's in my grammar notes there. And this is saying, who do you prefer? Uh, the doctor or the teacher, which is a really weird question. But anyway, the answer is going to be, for me anyway, remember, it's been lenited. There's an extra H in there. If you think of Kimaraha Hein, you can hear how the F is silenced, and we now take the H. So, hair. So the answer is going to be, is hair Liam and teacher, and probably you can guess when you see the T and the M that the T is you prefer and Liam is I prefer. So Koas here Leat and daughter no and teacher, and the answer is her Liam and teacher. I'm going to leave the next one because I don't remember this word. Okay. Jeno braha to Vahar a Jinnov. So again, the same as number one. What work is your mother making? Okay, so I could say uh, uh, ha I ac ober an an hospital, or ha mo vahar ac ober an an hospital. I could say something very similar like Hai Nanas. She's a nurse, but probably they want me to practice that Shay construction that I used, Shay teacher Hannam. Okay, so I could use the Shay construction, but to make it easier for myself, I'm just going to say uh, um, hamo vahar akobar. Anambu in a shop. It's asking what she's making, though. Yeah. I think this is just another way of saying what does she work at? What's she making? What work does she do? Okay. Um, right. Let's move on a little bit. So this word here that I'm not sure uh, about the meaning, I'm going to skip that. I think it means interesting, but I'll come back to that. Okay, where are we? Right. Um, so we've just done number 7. Number 8, we are not sure about. Number 9, aveu tu vrahar na Olenyach. Okay, so is your brother a student? Okay, so I could answer, um, ha, hi, and school. Yeah. Or, of course, I could say Chaniel, hi, Akubar, and an garage, for example. Something like that. Catch a veil and nurse Akubar. This is quite easy. Where does a nurse work? Ha and nurse Akubar and an hospital. J and Ober Nachel Hu Akiri. What work is it that you don't want? And I would answer that with beginning Chanyomi. I don't want. Chanyomi Agiri is how we would usually say Chanyomi Agiri, and then you can put in the work that you don't want. So you could say Avinam Polish, for example. You don't want to work in the police. Right. The next one, I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but it's basically asking, is your Gaelic teacher a nice person? And I'm going to say, ha, Shidunya Snog Ahaun. Now, if you're unsure about where that comes from, I think in my last exam notes that I did before Christmas, we went over it. Shay and Ahaun at the end is just a way a different way to say the state of something. Okay. I'll be going over these again in the next few days just to really get used to them. So we'll be seeing this again and again. Right. Avail du hu nas. It looks like Motha, but it might actually be Moa. I'll check the pronunciation of that. Na du chats. Okay, so you by this time you know avail. Okay, it's a question word. Two, you should know is you are. So do who and do hat. If you look closely, these are lenited with the extra H. So it's actually ku for dog and cat for cat, but because of the lenition, it's who and chat. Avail tu is a hard sound. Avail to who nas motha or moa na to chat. So the question is asking, which is more bigger? And I know that because it has nas here, which shows me that there's a question there about comparatives. Only the comparative more. We'll cover the other comparatives when we get to them, okay? So the question then is, in English, we can translate this in this case as what your dog more bigger than your cats. Okay, so we usually translate avail as does, don't we? Or is. So is your dog bigger than your cats? Is what it's asking here. Okay. Quaha nas her Gaelic. Um, and then we've got Husano to Harwich. So do you prefer your Gaelic or the Gaelic of your friend? Again, notice the lenition here. This becomes her rather than fear and Harwich. Okay. Koasaha. So uh, do you prefer your Gaelic or the Gaelic of your friends? And because this is emphasized with SA, it's not just saying who, it's saying husa. So I'm going to answer saying smisha, my Gaelic. I prefer my Gaelic. Getting harder, aren't they? Right. Um, uh, Avail an oper acit furashta. No, I think this is Juriv. Again, we'll be coming back to the pronunciation, so don't pay too much attention if your pronunciation's better than mine. I have a whole stack of MP3s to listen to with these kind of questions in them. So it's asking, um, is the work at you? Um, I think uh, it's actually asking what it's like. A good answer here is to say, Hai Jorov, which is the word for difficult, you can see it there, but interesting. Okay, I'm not sure what it's asking here about for Asta. I'll need to check on that, but Jorov is definitely difficult. Okay, so you could say uh, Hi Beck and Jorov, a little bit difficult. You could say that. Right. Kuaha nas I'm not sure about the pronunciation here. I'm going to guess and say oiche. Husa no du fewer. Okay, so again, it's asking something about, I think, who you prefer, but I'm going to leave that because I'm not sure exactly what meaning to extract from that. I think this is asking who is more younger. We already said that Nas is the um, comparative for more. This is definitely youthful. It has the E at the end. So I think it's asking who is younger, you or your sister. I'm going to answer again just by saying Misha. Smisha, me. Is Misha. Okay. Um, okay, so Gianobaraha to I think this is just Heiner with the pronunciation. I don't think the SH is said completely, but I will check. Genev. So it's basically saying, what does your grandmother work at? What work your grandmother makes is a literal translation. And you can say, Chanieli Akoper, she doesn't work. Okay. Okay. The next one I'm going to leave because I'm not 100% sure about that. Okay. Um, Again, we have another type of comparative here. It's not nas this time. It's uh, ho with re. And that basically means as big as small as. Okay. And aviel u ho click rish and teacher akit. So is something as a teacher. I don't know what that is. Click. If I remember correctly, it's related to knowledge or wise. So it's possibly asking Avel u, um, are you as wise as the teacher? Literally, are you so wise, or are you as wise as the teacher at you, as your teacher? Are you as wise as your teacher? Okay, well, I think that's going to be Chanyew. um, yeah, a bit tricky with the pronunciation here. I'll need to check if that's uh, glick or glitch, but either way, I'm sure it's related to wisdom somehow. Right, and we're only doing 20, so this will be the last one. Coas her let ac ober, colamurag no Seamus. Mhm. Okay, so again, who do you prefer at work? Who do you prefer? Remember, ac ober, working, adol, a going, uh, ag all a drinking. So this isn't actually at work. It's saying ko as her let akober. Who do you prefer working with? Morag no Seamus. Okay, and the answer, just like last time, we'll change this to M to make it is her Liam Morag. Of course, you could choose either, and you could add in a little bit after that. Ha snog, she's nice. Okay, I'm not saying that Seamus isn't. Okay, I'm just these people, of course, are fictional. So there we are, 20 Gaelic questions, and I find this much better practice for speaking than trying to practice grammar. So there we are, a little bit of grammar for today. I'll be back to go over the ones I missed there and also to carry on till we get to 100. And then I'll do the same for the next 2 units. I think it's the easiest way to practice speaking, to be honest, because I'm not practicing with anyone. So this makes it easier. Right, that's it from me for the minutes. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll be back again later or tomorrow with more of these. Okay? Chidi and